certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Welcome, everybody. Good morning. It is the Steel Toe Morning Show. I'm Aaron Imholt. You like it? It's a first draft. My daughter made this for me yesterday. We were at my parents' house, and this was the only color plain T-shirt they have. My mom, because she's a grandmother, got all kinds of T-shirt making, screen pressing, iron-on machines and equipment so that the kids could dick around and make shirts. And all we had was this color. And my oldest was, I had showed her Joe Hendry. My kids watch wrestling shorts and stuff on YouTube. I told my dad, I go, these kids today. We had these kids today moment. I said, I try to get them to watch Raw on Netflix. They want to watch wrestling shorts. They watch 15 minutes Raw on Netflix. My daughter goes, a half hour, Dad. I apologize. But she found out about Joe Hendry, I'll admit, through me, while I was lying in bed, rotting and dying. During the Royal Rumble, I was texting her Joe Hendry's theme song and everything. So yesterday, she goes, Dad, you want me to make you a Joe Hendry shirt? And I'm like, pretty much more than I want to draw my next breath. So we only had like 20, 30 minutes before we had to go, and she threw this together real quick. And unfortunately, the colors completely line up, which is not good. But this was the only color Grandma had. So I have an I Believe in Joe Hendry t-shirt. I'm very excited about it. Plus, my daughter made it for me, which is extra cool. But don't worry, SP made her do it. Sorry. Here's the conflict I have. Right now, we're raising money to treat steel-toe derangement syndrome because, as it was pointed out yesterday by Taste Fairy Ialto, if you don't catch steel-toe derangement syndrome early, if you're up right now and you've convinced yourself you hate me, you don't. You adore me more than these people do. But if you've woken up to watch this show and you've convinced yourself you hate me, you suffer from steel-toe derangement syndrome. I've broken your brain. And I don't want to. I want to entertain you. I want to put smiles on your faces. I don't want to make you angry and hostile and run to the internet after the show and go, yeah, I bet his girlfriend is making. So I'm trying to help people with steel-toe derangement syndrome. The only problem is I feel like it's coming off as mocking them. And I don't want it to come off as mocking them. I want it to come off as what I mean it, and that is immersion therapy. I'm trying to help these poor lost souls and guide them to a better life. Because as Taste Fairy Ialto said, if steel-toe derangement syndrome goes untreated, our researchers, thanks to you guys crushing yesterday's goal, our researchers have found that it develops into Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome, which is AIDS, which we don't want to see. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. So every goal this week is going towards treating both steel-toe derangement syndrome and Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome. So let's fight both. We're only 175 away from today, by the way. Let's you want to just do this in the first hour? Because you guys nailed it yesterday morning. You want to just hammer out this pesky 175 and call her a day? This is what the Chad Buzamok Top Donations board looks like. Brought to you by the one and only Chad Buzamok. We got Flinty Gecko in first at 250. But we got people who are slowly climbing up the ranks this week. It's only Wednesday. Adam at 107, Gray Duckling at 101, and Dennis at 100. Now, not very difficult for you to jump in there. I mean, we got Doorman at 55, Oz at 90, Miss Tay at 60, Red Fox Matt at 65. So people can jump up there. Flinty Gecko does not need to win. Flinty Gecko can be beaten. Adam Simon, currently the closest. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, etc. Thanks for your money. Thanks for your support. Let's do 175 today and call it a win for the toe and a win for science as we continue to battle the affliction known as steel-toe derangement syndrome. I probably shouldn't tell STDS sufferers that I make my return to the ring today. Back to sparring. It is okay. I did get contacted yesterday. My phone call is coming up, so the license should be, at the very least on a temporary basis, reinstated very soon. However, it might not matter. From what I'm hearing from Scott and others, it might not matter because I don't know if my opponent's going to be ready. We have not heard hide nor hair. Like 2 weeks ago, we heard we should be able to put this together. This should be easy. Nothing since then. They haven't gotten a hold of the guy. The gym says that he hasn't answered about it. So I'm now at the point where it looks like we're going to be, our fight license is going to be good for February 22nd, but we don't have a fight. So when I talk to Scott today, when I go back in, we're going to have that discussion about whether or not do we start looking for somebody else? Because this is the one we want. Like this guy and I, we've worked together in sparring and other places in different gyms, handful of times. It's pretty, I mean, he's like 6'7", 260. I like this is going to sound gay. I like the bigger, slower guys. It's not, look, you understand what I mean. Let's be mature about this, please. And I kind of got my heart set on this one. And I don't know. I think today I'll have that conversation because things are moving along well with the appeal and everything else. We're going to have to talk about whether or not we've got to look somewhere else because February 22nd is not that far away. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1.99 today says, how much do I owe to never play that song anymore? What? Do you guys know what he's talking about? Do you guys have any idea what song that guy's discussing? Trucker 18-wheeler says, I got it stuck in my head. What are you talking about? Mild says, weight progress update. I will say this. The weight when I got sick, my weight stayed the same. So I'm still at 223. But I was supposed to be going down. You know, and when you get sick, you know, you eat, you don't eat, whatever it is. But still 223, but I don't feel good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just coming off of having probably influenza. And I actually think I'm taking a step back today. I feel a little shittier. I slept fucked up. My neck is all weird. SP called me a gay F word in her sleep last night. That was demoralizing. I woke up at like 3 a.m. for a little bit and, just to toss and turn a little bit and then go back to sleep. I sat up, laid back down, went to bed. But when I sat up, SP goes, God damn it. What did she say? And honey, if you're listening, just turn it off. You never said this. Don't worry. Just don't worry about it. She said something like, it was something like, go home, faggot. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell, bro? I sat up and I must have moved the covers or something, and I just hear, go home, faggot. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't really blame them. They're asleep, or at least they want you to think they are. So you just kind of like awkwardly look over at them and just slowly lay back down and just go to sleep. The love of my life calls me the gay F word in her sleep. That's got to mean something, right? Well, anyway, she told me to title today's program. So if you don't like it, if she prepped the whole show too. She does all the background and everything else. By the way, if you buy that, remember, it's a research week. If you buy that, you are suffering from steel-toed derangement syndrome. I apologize. Trucker 18-wheeler with 199 says, I'll never believe. What is he talking about, you guys? Do you understand? Clapo Graham says, she only called you that because you were dreaming about Joe Hendry. She probably wanted your boyfriend to get out of your bed, says Chips and Diff. Oh, Gordy. Guys, what is Trucker 18-wheeler talking about? About I'll never believe, the song got stuck in my head. How much do I owe to never play that song anymore? I don't know what song he's talking about. I don't know who he's talking about believing in. Sam Show says that's what you get for playing that song about Jeremy Hendrick. I don't know who Jeremy Hendrick is. Oh, my shirt? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's blue on blue. So you can't tell what it says. It doesn't say. I can see where you would get Jeremy Hendrick out of that. It's not Jeremy Hendrick.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Where?
Cause they love him in London and Paris
and Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico. They say,
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
He's the man. Is that what you meant, Trucker 18-wheeler? Okay. Trucker 18-wheeler paid money. He deserves a response. How much do I owe to never play that song anymore? You guys knock out the goal. I'll stop for the rest of the day immediately. That's a fair. Every fair question deserves a fair answer. And my fair answer to you, how much to not play that stupid song, would be knock out the goal. Now, if you donate and you knock out the goal and you say you don't want that song to stop playing, that is an option too. I am totally open to that. I give the paying customers of this program what they want. Hulkamasha Baby says, I woke up last night and that shit was in my head. If I ever see you, I might kill you. Okay. Coltrane says, I hope Triple H comes out of retirement and pedigrees him into the grave. He wouldn't. You saw the tweet that we showed you yesterday. Triple H believes too. He tweeted a picture with Joe Hendry and it just said, I believe. Bigot on Socialist Media says, but the next show, Aaron can keep playing it. No, depending on how you guys donate, you guys get to determine the course of this show. You are the paying customer. Remember that. That puts Gray Duckling at 103. He's $4 behind Adam Simon because Gray Duckling with $2 says, I believe in life after love. Sorry. I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough. No. Do you believe in life after love? Somebody did send this to me on the Toe Boys page. Do not blame me for this. It's not my fault. Someone sent it to me. It's a bunch of culturally ambiguous dudes, and they've all got balloons. And the game they're supposed to be playing is pop the balloon when you hear a theme song better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. So let's see what gets these guys to pop their balloons.
Theme song then.
All right, so better than Stone Cold.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, wait.
I believe
What?
in Joe Hendry. London and Paris.
Ah, they're clapping.
America's soft and
Yes.
The balloon
Look
went
at
here.
that.
WWE
Everybody loves Joe Hendry, the most viral superstar of the last 12 months, the one and only. Oh, my God. Rusty Grammer says, I believe we should deport Joe Hendry back to Africa. He's Scottish, you piece of shit. He's Scottish. All right, let's get into our let's get into our regularly scheduled programming. You think I'm going to let SP get a nice show ready for us today? And I'm not going to jump into it. I have to. She's in charge. If I don't do the show that SP told me to do, she's going to get very upset with me, and I have to sleep in the cage again. Again, we're just testing people for STDS. We want people to be healthy. Let's go into this Marcus Jordan thing. Mussolini Diff with $2 says, Aaron believes in polygamy. First of all, it doesn't fit the rhyme scheme of the song, dick. Second of all, not even once. Well, once, but I mean, from now on, not even. What terrible idea, especially with drug addicts. Polygamy with drug addicts, probably even way worse. But that's the only kind I've ever done. Cokeheads, to be specific. Polygamy with cokeheads. Should be a sitcom, really. All right, let's go ahead and get to this Marcus Jordan thing. Michael Jordan's son got arrested. And, I'll say this. At least when he's hammered, the kid's got no shame. Marcus Jordan, son of Michael, was driving hammered and got his car stuck on some railroad tracks, which is totally, that's fine. It's get you. Sometimes you're the car, sometimes you're the tracks. Well, Marcus Jordan gets busted. And as the cops are processing him and the cops are going through the whole thing of arresting him for DUI, what do you think that Marcus Jordan blurted out during this process? I know that there's a little latency in the chat, so I'll wait a second. But Marcus Jordan, son of Michael, gets busted, driving drunk, stuck on some train tracks, kind of oddly sideways. We'll show you the video in a little bit. Now, most people who are in the shadow of their father's accomplishments like to get out of the shadow of their father's accomplishments. Some people bask in it. And really, if Michael Jordan's your dad, do you really have to do anything? I can't blame Marcus Jordan if he doesn't want to do anything in life. I mean, your dad's a billionaire. Your dad worked hard enough for the next 4 generations. I mean, it's going to kill your motivation. It's going to kill, the only way someone like that could be motivated to accomplish anything is jealousy or hatred of their parents, or proper insecurity. I'm dog shit until I do something. I'm just coasting off someone else's name. Those are very admirable qualities, by the way. The more normal human quality is to go, I don't have to struggle. Why would I struggle? I'll just live the good life. That's a very easy thing to fall into. But to try and make your own name in the world when your dad's name is Michael Jordan, there's something admirable about that, fighting that battle you'll never win, but still girding up your loins and going for it. That sounded really, really gay. All right, we've got, people are guessing it in the chat. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my daddy is? I'm good friends with Bugs Bunny. That one would actually work. Dun, 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 dun. Perhaps I could be of some assistance. So we've got Marcus Jordan getting busted. Good morning to Will Heron, too. We've got something to show you that old Will Heron did something really nice for the toe yesterday at the Super Bowl. And I do have a request for old Will. I don't know how much fucking around he can get away with without getting in trouble, so I don't want him to get him in trouble. But I did lay down the gauntlet. An Eagles fan in the chat last night during the B show, the evening show that we do. Last one of the week tonight, by the way. Tune in. They asked me, Aaron, what would it take for you to root for the Eagles for the Super Bowl? Because as you know, as a Vikings fan, I hold a lot of ill will. I think Eagles fans are inbred tards. I don't like the Eagles. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Andy Reid. I like those guys. Somebody asked me, Aaron, what would it take for you to root for the Chiefs? I said, if Will Heron can get Saquon Barkley to say another win for the toe, I will root for the Eagles. So, again, Will should not do this if Will's bosses are going to call and go, we're getting complaints from down at the Superdome that you keep asking people to say another win for the toe. Are you okay? Like, first you interviewed that druggy lawyer guy. We had no idea what that was all about. Now you got people talking about toes. Like, Will, are you in a good place psychologically? I don't want Will to get that phone call. So, but if he's not going to get that phone call and he can get Saquon to say another win for the toe, I am saying right here and now, publicly in front of God and everybody, I will root for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That is, I will commit to that 100%. All right, we got, oh my goodness, this JS guy with $4.99. Ladies and gentlemen, we have it in front of us. Would you like to see? We've got JS in a cage right now, like a little lab rat. We're going to show you a great example of steel-toed derangement syndrome. Getting up early in the morning to watch a show and convincing yourself that you don't love it. Here's JS. Guys, this is steel-toed derangement syndrome, bordering on full-blown Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome. Says, why do you think your haters watch you? First of all, they're not haters. You cannot get up this early and watch this program and be as dedicated without loving. You just have psychological problems. It's probably your dad's fault. You'll be okay. Keep lying to yourself. Hey, if you're going to be like an illness and science denier, that's on you. We watch you because by the way, this is psychological. This is another incident of steel-toed derangement syndrome. Notice the we in this statement. This was always troubling to me. Crazy radio fans were like this too. It's always we. It's always one guy speaking for a group. And it's always a guy you know doesn't have any friends. It's a guy who there's no we. There's just him. He probably imagines me being in the room with him sometime. But okay, he says, we watch you. Again, guys, when they say we, you just smile and nod with them. We don't want to provoke steel-toed derangement syndrome because it can cause temporary psychosis. Because watching a loser beg for money is so funny to laugh at. There's the cope. Did I not tell you? One of the side effects of steel-toed derangement syndrome, endless coping. You cannot watch this show and be so emotionally invested and it's all on your end. It's because of me. I've been doing this too long. So thank you for the $5. But guys, historically white says women say we as well. Oh, that's a woman thing? Okay. That's a girl thing. Okay. Well, look, some people are saying in the chat that this could be Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome. That could be full-blown AIDS. My research tells me that is still steel-toed derangement syndrome, but it's probably not reversible at this point. Bigot on Socialist Media says, judging by this comment, I think they're beyond psychosis. I just don't give up on our test subjects that quickly. You could be right. We will see. But JS, Godspeed. This is a bad illness. I know you're scared. But as you can see, we're raising money for you. Like, we're trying to help you. And also, thank you for being a fan of the show. And try to fix that whole we thing. It's weird and creepy. Vidam with $5 says, I am boycotting the Super Bowl. Guys, breaking news. Will, you're down in New Orleans. You might want to cover this. Vidam is boycotting the Super Bowl. This is a massive announcement. I believe it's breaking here on this program. Vidam announces, I am boycotting the Super Bowl as I hate the Eagles and the Chiefs. This is new. None of us knew this about Vidam. This is something we're learning this morning. All pro sports are scripted and fake. They are all paid actors. Wow, I mean, we were having a nice time today. We were having a good day. Till Vidam had to Till Vadam had to announce that. Yeah, Will Heron says he's on the announcement. All right, well, there you go. Vadam announcing with $5 in his pocket that he will not be watching the Super Bowl and that sports are scripted and fake and that they are all paid actors. Gosh, it's shit to ruin your day, you know? Fauci's pangolin announcing, I'm boycotting. That's meta as fuck, bro. That's pretty meta. By the way, I do have to announce a mild case of steel-toe derangement syndrome. Poe has it, but I think Poe is still curable. I think he's still okay. He's got a little bit of the cope in him, but I think for the most part, his heart doesn't seem in it. All right, let's go to this Marcus Jordan arrest video. By the way, 165 away from, again, finding the cure for STDS. Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's kid, got busted for DUI, car parked on the train tracks. I mean, real white girl embarrassment shit. And, of course, he pulled the daddy card. Let's take a look. DUI, celebrity DUI arrest videos, very, very good, always top-notch. However, I think we can all still agree Johnny Damon owns the best one yet.
Hey,
You guys good?
yeah, we're trying to. My car's a little stuck right now.
I see that.
You know, usually when the cops are coming and a guy needs help and he goes, my car's a little stuck right now, it's usually like it's a snowy ditch or you hydroplaned into a body of water somewhere and your car's stuck, or you're in some mud. Down here, we famous for our mud. How's your Chinese food? So in this case, though, Marcus Jordan is, you know, as you often do, stuck on train tracks somehow, sideways.
You want to help us?
In fairness, he worked all week and it's time to play. He's going to get a little bit sideways. Now, just keep listening.
We're gonna try.
Huh?
We're gonna try.
What happened?
Oh, you know, I was just being Michael Jordan's son, and he just leads with that, just face first going into it. Oh, well, you know, I was driving down the road, and I was thinking about being Michael's kid, and, well, you know, shit got fucked up.
What happened? How'd you get on the tracks, man?
Well, you see, I'm all fucked up, and...
All right, good. Help us try and reverse this thing out.
Well, yeah.
help us try to reverse this thing out. How about, please? How about we be nice to the police officers who have come to investigate why there's an expensive blue car on the train tracks? Not just, hey, glad you're here. Like, this is obviously spoken to as a kid who's been catered to his whole life. And I love how I keep saying kid. Isn't Michael like 60? So his kid's probably what, in his 30s or 40s? And we're sitting here, kid. That's the thing about rich kids is they always seem like you always refer to them as like children because usually they haven't accomplished anything of their own. They're still living off their parents or their grandparents and their money. So you're like kid, young man, this and that. And it's like, bro, I'm in my 40s. Like I'm old enough where I should have something to show for myself, but I'm just shit-faced or on drugs and my car's stuck on the train tracks. That's all I got. I'm doing 18-year-old shit.
Oh, hang on. You are stuck.
How the fuck?
Come here.
Like, that's hard to do. That's something you can only pull off while you're fucked up. Like that, you could try to do that and you couldn't pull it off.
You know trains come by right now, right?
No, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the fuck up out of here.
I love how he doesn't take his girl out of the car, leaves his girl in the car. Hey, you know a train could come by at any minute. I know, I'm just here because I figure we'll be moving soon. How about we get, where's chivalry, bro? Didn't Michael teach you any chivalry? I will say this, he does seem to have picked up his dad's gambling addiction, although his stakes are a little bit higher.
Thought we were making a right, and I fucking turned onto the train tracks, apparently.
Come on. How much time do you think he had before the police got there? 20 minutes? Let's say 15. He had 15 minutes to think of how this happened to him. And he goes, I went to take a right-hand turn. I ended up on the train tracks. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, that happens. It's a pretty common thing. I mean, how many times have you guys had your turn signal on? You went to turn onto a county road and just train tracks? I mean, it's happens more often than you think.
All right? No, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the fucking better. We thought we were making a right, and I fucking turned onto the train tracks apparently.
Oh, well, sir, when you put it that way, this totally makes sense now.
I'm trying.
But yeah, we're not getting back in the car right now, okay? The reason why, so.
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Keep your hands out of your pockets.
There's nothing in my pocket.
That's all, don't pass you down real quick, okay? Put your hands up there,
Oh, man, you know, bro, I'm Marcus Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's son.
Ah, there it is. There it is. By the way, you know what really sucks about this for Michael Jordan? I bet you Marcus never name drops Michael Jordan when he does something really well. Like, let's say he were an accountant or something, and he won some regional award in his office. Like he was number cruncher of the year last year. And I bet you when he accepts the award, he's like, he doesn't go, as Michael Jordan's son, I got to thank my father for teaching me. And he's like, me, Marcus Jordan, my philosophy towards accounting is have a father who's worth $1 billion so you can wait until you're 40 to figure out what you want to do with your life. Nope. No Michael Jordan named. But when he's in trouble with the cops, Michael's the first name that comes out of his mouth.
Okay. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to get home.
Marcus, some would argue, and I'm not here to bust your balls, buddy, but some might argue that getting your car stuck on train tracks that are active and has trains going up and down them might be classified as doing something wrong.
And I made a wrong turn. Okay? And clearly...
like my dad when he played for the Birmingham Barons. Come on, guys. You know what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan's kid. Oh, man.
We would just like to get our car off of the fucking train tracks.
It's
which
true.
we were not trying to be on.
I thought he was fucking Scottie Pippen's daughter. Wasn't that the thing? Wasn't Michael's son was fucking Scottie's daughter? That doesn't look like Scottie's daughter. Scottie got a white daughter? Or is this a different chick?
I mean, I'm just saying, if there's 6 of us and we throw this thing in reverse.
Well, I've already got concerns.
he's already got he's kind of hillbilly solutioning this right now. He's like, all I'm saying, officers, hear me out. If we got 6 of us, you got to remember when my dad, Michael Jordan, won those NBA titles, there was only 5 guys on the floor at a time. And he was beating the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley and the Utah Jazz with Karl Malone and the Portland Trailblazers with Clyde Drexler and shit. So 6 of us can surely move a sports car off the train tracks.
It's for your level of impairment anyways, okay? So that's why. Because like it's not alcohol coming from you and you're on train tracks. Okay. So
come on, man.
Just listen to me. That's why I don't want you back behind the...
Man, I had some honeydew. Everybody knows that shit smell like Ron Diaz.
Wheel anyways, okay?
I'm fine behind the wheel. I just would like to get my car out of this.
We'll deal with that after.
You see, I am a clutch driver, much like my father, all-time great shooting guard Michael Jordan, was a clutch jump shooter. That shit's in my blood.
After this, okay? We'll deal with that after this. But that's why I had to get you out of the car, okay? Because I hear spinning tires, I hear slurred speech from you. You're driving on train tracks.
I'm not slurring anything.
That's right. I ain't said the N-word once during this whole conversation. Oh.
I'm letting you know. I have concerns. Okay?
Well,
For your
I appreciate that.
Driving a vehicle, I can't let you back behind the car and drive a vehicle.
I appreciate your concerns.
Yeah, I don't want.
But I am not inebriated. I'm not anything that cannot drive home.
Oh boy, we got more. He sings during the this. I'll give him this. He doesn't sound like super inebriated. Like he doesn't sound super hammered or anything. This isn't like the most embarrassing DUI arrest of a celebrity I've ever seen. Again, that would be Johnny Damon. Let's check out the next. There's a part 2.
Y'all feel great, right? Y'all feel great. Y'all did something good. Right? Y'all can smile tomorrow. Y'all talk to y'all fucking superior.
I would smile tomorrow too if my dad were Michael Jordan.
Coming all the way back here. Brought in Marcus Jordan.
Go back. Did you hear that? He's still name dropping his daddy.
Fucking superior. Coming all the way back here. Brought in Marcus Jordan.
Goddamn Marcus Jordan. Wrong first name, asshole. Brian Jordan from the LA Dodgers has a little more name value than Marcus Jordan.
Is Marcus Jordan are you like popular or something?
You know exactly what the fuck it is.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, you know that bothered him. Marcus Jordan, are you like important or something? Cop's right though. Yeah, your dad's important. Your dad's Michael Jordan. We love your dad. You don't mean shit to us. If we saw your dad's car on the train tracks, fuck, we'd pull it off for him and tell him to get home safe. You?
I don't know who you are, man. I've never met you.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Can you turn this up? I like this song.
Can you turn this up? I like this song. You gotta like that. He's chilling in the back of the cop car. He just wants to hear some tunes.
A little louder. A little louder.
Oh, and the cop did turn. What a cool cop. Now I just want to watch Rocky 3. It happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the hour of tiger. Rising up to the challenge of our rivals.
Trust me, Marcus.
He barely sang. Come on, Marcus. You know who I heard could sing, Marcus? John Paxson's kid.
If I wasn't stuck there, I wouldn't have been there.
Marcus.
They gave y'all plenty of time. I would have thought y'all would have helped me. But nah, y'all offered some other shit. Let's arrest the black guy. I was a white motherfucker with a party.
Bro, he's like, you arrested me for being black. That's all. Dude, come on. You smelled like booze and your car was parked sideways on the railroad tracks. That their hands are tied. Their hands are tied at this point, buddy. You can't. Why'd you arrest me? Well, I don't know. You in general a danger to the public. That's why we arrested you. He's kind of obnoxious. He's kind of I gotta tell you, he's not even the charming kind of drunk and shit faced and hammered. He's just kind of the puke, and then the pukey. I'm Michael Jordan's kid. I don't think they give a shit. TV's Will Heron becoming a member for 6 months. Says so far no Saquon on the mic yet. All right, well, dude. Like I said, if Saquon Barkley says another win for the toe, I'm rooting for the Eagles. Zesty Taco Paco becoming a member for 27 months. Thank you very much, pal. Appreciate that. And our buddy Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul with $2 says everyone at the Super Bowl are crisis actors. Oh, shit. Well, breaking news. Are you catching any of this? We got some people breaking news that they're boycotting the Super Bowl because everyone's an actor. Now what's the other one? Now we got Paul saying that everyone at the Super Bowl is a crisis actor. This is good shit. Like, you're there as a journalist. You should be investigating this stuff and seeing if these people are crisis actors. It's important. Stories with Joe. Become a subscriber. You can just run around in the YouTube chat, for Christ's sake. This isn't real high-end heady shit, Joe. You can do this. You've got this, buddy. I believe in you. Thank you guys very much for your support. $165 away from this morning, and every dollar you guys contribute to the show goes to fight the affliction known as steel-toe derangement syndrome, which, as you've seen this morning with JS, is very, very, very prevalent in today's society. Will Heron says, getting out my notebook. Good. That's very important. And I like that he's old school and he uses a notebook. That's very solid. More breaking news for the Super Bowl. The NFL is not going to include their end racism message in the end zone of the Super Bowl for the first time since George Floyd died. Wow. Well, congratulations. Now the Klan's going to be there. Everybody's going to be hating black people. Well, that was probably going to happen anyway. Only because there's so much gambling around the Super Bowl and with the players being predominantly black. But that's more of a money thing. It's not so much a skin color thing. It's incidental. People get frustrated. They need to lash out. But without that end racism in the back of the end zone, how am I supposed to know? Do you have to take it off? Like, does it have to be like completely gone? Maybe we could change it. Maybe we can alter it. Like, just put racism ? It makes people think about it. I mean, we don't, maybe think about racism. Maybe ponder racism. Maybe end racism does come off as a little bossy. You might know from the people in your life that some people just, quite frankly, aren't ready for racism to end because they think, well, what am I going to replace it with? Where does the hate in my heart go that has kept me warm for all these years? Where is it going to go if you get rid of this message in the back of the end zone? Also, if you get rid of the end racism message, how are people going to know that being racist is bad? I've counted on the NFL for this shit for years, and they just consistently pull the rug right out from under me. Will's going to work at the Super Bowl, guys. There we go. He's going to work. Everybody say goodbye to Will. He's going to work at the Super Bowl, and I hope he gets to the bottom of this crisis actor nonsense. I hope he gets to the bottom of this this boycott, fake pro wrestling nonsense. Excuse me. Oh, I really do think I'm backsliding a little bit today. I do. Klopogram says Trump should pardon Derek Chauvin for Black History Month. I will say this. We do have some Derek Chauvin news today. I have Derek Chauvin news. And by the way, I think Trump should have like some shit he does for like different levels his approval rating hits. And I still haven't decided if I want him to do this as it gets lower or as it gets higher. Like, I think as it gets higher, just keep testing it. Like at 60%, pardon Derek Chauvin, see what happens. Because you got 10 points built in and you're still, the majority of the country loves you. And then if you get to like 20% approval, let like all cops in unarmed black shootings go and just see how low that thing can get. We got a story today. Trump has a plan to eviscerate and annihilate and apparently wipe Iran off the map, which he said if they try to assassinate him, or if they assassinate him, he has left detailed plans to wipe them out. Now, I hope Trump has a rule for this for everyone who's ever tried to have him killed. So, for example, the FBI tried to blow his head off. Can we just get rid of that completely? Makes sense. If you're going to do it for Iran, let's do it to the FBI. The FBI actually took a shot at you. Done. All of it. Kevin Soundboard says NFL is considered entertainment, not a sport. College football is a sport. It's fun to watch, man. I like college basketball. I like college football. I don't know if I like... I know I like college basketball more than pro basketball. I don't think I can get behind liking college football as much as professional football, but I love them both. Thank you very much to Los Federales for $1 says, sorry I'm late, boss. Johnny slapped 21s on his wheelchair and took it for a spin. He got a flat tire on I-35 and had to go get him. I keep telling him not to bring it on the interstate. I carried him home like Kevin Costner carried Whitney in The Bodyguard. Oh, that's just an incredibly romantic image. Thank you, Los Federales. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says the Super Bowl is known as a big sex trafficking event. The man's not wrong. Women and children are sold and bought at the Super Bowl. Again, the guy's not wrong. The guy is not wrong. It's a huge hooker event. That was one of the big things back 7-8 years ago. When we had the Super Bowl here, that's the number one thing the police were prepping for was just ample amounts of whores. And you can't just let it go. Like, you got to set up sting operations to make sure women aren't being pimped out against their will, to make sure there's not underage sex trafficking, sex slavery, shit like that. I mean, it's a lot of work for law enforcement. Unless it's like in LA, which I'm sure they don't even give a shit. There were a bunch of people protesting probably racism or some shit in Los Angeles. And they were all arrested. Like thousands of them were arrested. Yesterday, they cut them all loose. No charges, no nothing. LA just cut them all loose. Immigration. They were protesting immigration. And they just decided, you know what? We're just a little tired today. We're just gonna let you guys go. Nice, right? Real nice. Somebody had some balls and decided to ask Patrick Mahomes a hard-hitting question. Those of you who think the Super Bowl is rigged, you guys are going to love this. Patrick Mahomes was being interviewed on opening media night, brought to you by Gatorade. And Patrick was asked a hard-hitting journalistic question by a complete fucking smartass.
Patrick, for your whole career, you have had so many great people help you win. So who is your favorite ref?
And look, this is why I like Patrick Mahomes. He smiles it off. He laughs it off. He's a likable dude. Plus, you have to understand, like, I know a lot of people don't want to root for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they don't understand my hatred of the Philadelphia Eagles. But it can all, if you view it through the guise of a Minnesotan, you'll understand both of them. All right? 38-7, fuck Millie, hate the Eagles. The Patrick Mahomes, there's a clear and present Patrick Mahomes Minnesota connection. Just like there was a clear and present Minnesota Tom Brady connection. And no, I'm not talking about when he led one of the greatest comebacks in college football history when Michigan beat the Gophers in the Metrodome. That fucking stung. Anyway, Patrick Mahomes' father, Pat Mahomes, who was a professional baseball pitcher, pitched in Minnesota from 92 to 96, from the time I was 5 to the time I was 9. And I remember Pat Mahomes is one of the first Minnesota Twins pitchers I remember. Kevin Tapani, John Smiley, Rick Aguilera, Pat Mahomes, LaTroy Hawkins, Bob Tewksbury, Scott Erickson. These are guys these are my like earliest memories of Minnesota Twins pitchers. So there's a Minnesota connection. And to those of you saying, wait a minute, Aaron, back up. Tom Brady Minnesota connection? Oh yeah. His mom's from Browerville. Tom Brady's mom lived in, I think still lives in, perhaps, Browerville, Minnesota. Tom Brady spent important and formative years of his life in lovely Browerville, Minnesota. Where's Browerville, Minnesota, you ask? It's not important. It's here. That's all you need to know. So Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, between those two guys, closest Minnesota's ever got to winning a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Luckily, there's 10 between the two of them. So here's the question. Who's your favorite ref?
So who is your favorite ref?
That's hilarious. All the refs are great, man. All the refs are great. They do the best they can. We go out there and play the game the right way.
Is there one that you give a Christmas card to every year, possibly?
Not that I can remember. I'll have to talk to some of my teammates and try to figure it out.
got a good sense of humor about it because, like, it's a stressful week and you've got to be a circus act while getting ready for the biggest game of the year. So, it's a pretty good response. He wasn't a total prick about it. He played along. He's not the coolest guy at the Super Bowl, though. Not by a long shot. Clopogram says, Aaron, have you fucked Tom Brady's mom? No, I have not fucked Tom Brady's mother. Thank you for thinking I could even be in the conversation, but no. Somebody says, Aaron, you should know where Browerville is. Okay, I can do this. We're gonna go to a map after I guess. Browerville, Minnesota. Fuck, man. This one really... North Central Minnesota is Browerville. Let's take a look. All right. Minnesota... Google Maps. Let's find Browerville. Here we go. You got to zoom in pretty far to find Browerville. I don't know where the fuck it is. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be. Here we go. It's up by Swanville, right? There it is, up by Long Prairie. Yeah, right up 71. There's Browerville right there. Browerville, Minnesota. It's got Christ the King Catholic Church and Log Cabin Pizza. It's got a Casey's, right? The Browerville Community Center, the Browerville Liquor Store, Step on Thrift, the thrift store, Main Street, Browerville. That is shit. That's it. Oh, wait, the Browerville VFW is right there. Christ the King Catholic School, Christ the King Catholic Church, Browerville Area Food Shelf, the V, the Community Center, Taqueria Las Juanitas, a Mexican restaurant. Who the fuck would have guessed? Pro Ag Farmers Co-op Hardware Store, Konetsko's Meat Market Butcher Shop, Browerville Liquor. Come on, what else? Oh, Bonneville's Unlimited Auto Repair Shop, American Heritage National Bank. Dude, they're hopping in Browerville. Get the fuck out of here. Browerville Garage, Spinney's Sparkling Car Wash and Laundromat. Come on, you just fucking car washed and your clothes cleaned? Probably in the same room. Are all these other buildings empty, or are these like the houses in Browerville? That looks like about all we got on the main drag, guys. We got booze. Oh, there's Luna's Country Foods. It's where you can get your oats and shit. Then we already saw the Browerville food shelf. And guys, I think we're heading out of town now. Yep, we're back on 71. That's all there is in Browerville. Yeah, we already got Christ the King Catholic Church. There's nothing over. Holy shit, this is an empty place. I think we saw City Hall earlier. Bonneville's Unlimited Repair. Yeah, once you get off Main Street, Browerville, there ain't nothing going on. Oh, no. Oh, the Egg Co-op. Oh, wait, there's Big Boys Truck and Tire. We didn't see Big Boys Truck and Tire before. All right. Yeah, just dropped my car off at Big Boys. I'm going to head over to the Browerville VFW for a couple of barley pops. That's where Tom Brady's mom is from. Travis Kelce got asked about the refs, too, right after Patrick Mahomes. Oh, McBuster asks, is this Ed and Michelle's next destination? Historically White says, I'd rather live in an empty place. Well, how is that not? Please tell me how that's not an empty place. Clopogram says it's got Aaron's wanted poster by Tom Brady. But who's going to see it? All right, let's see Travis Kelce getting asked about the refs. I heard him talk about how Taylor Swift makes homemade Pop-Tarts. Made me sick. Trucker 18 Wheeler with $1.99 says it's Amish country. Oh, okay. I didn't see any quilt stores. Here we go. This is Travis Kelce getting asked about the refs.
So many great people help you win.
It's Patrick.
So who is your
Some of my teammates
pass or penalties in the play more?
gotta figure it out.
Travis, what do you love more? Taylor Swift or phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties in the playoffs?
That's a good question. Anybody else?
He didn't have as good a sense of humor as Patrick Mahomes. I will criticize the guy asking the questions, too. That was a little wordy. Just a little wordy. Not, he's not a bad guy or anything like that. Just a little long setup, you know? Only Norm Macdonald could get away with that. Eaton Clam says, rumor has it there's an exotic meat plant moving to Browerville. Oh, so Johnny did decide to take him up on that tax abatement offer. Good for him. Good for him. We are 165 away from today. Oh, I'm sorry, Red Fox Mad. 160 away from this morning's goal. Keep it going. It's a small one today. Let's keep knocking it out. I appreciate that. They're saying that's Rich Schertenlieb asking the question, was on the biggest Boston morning radio show. What is the biggest Boston radio show? Is it, who are the sports guys? What's the sports? The only radio show I know in Boston is there's two guys that are massive in sports talk out of Boston. And I can't remember their names. It's going to kill me, so I'm looking it up. Boston Sports Talk Radio. 98.5, The Sports Hub. Shows on demand. Toucher and Hardy. What happened to Toucher and Rich? Is there no Toucher and Rich? Oh, are Toucher and Rich all done? God damn it. WEEI, that's the station I'm thinking of. Greg Hill, Jones and Keefe. Oh, maybe. I'm not seeing them. There used to be like a really popular sports talk radio show in Boston. Oh, Eastwood said Toucher and Hardy now, but it was Toucher and Rich. Okay. So it doesn't exist anymore. Fudge. Triple N says that sounds like a molesting duo. It really does. Toucher and Rich. Society changed around them. You know? McBuster says gay F word and the Mick. I mean, it is a Boston show. That would probably sell. That was not the coolest moment, though, of the Super Bowl so far. Coolest moment of the Super Bowl so far has to go to the Philadelphia Eagles, Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat had the greatest moment of any Super Bowl presser thus far. If you suffer from steel-toe derangement syndrome, it is advised that you do not listen to this clip. Ladies and gentlemen, Eagles starting defensive end Josh Sweat and
Another win for the toe.
Hey, thank you, Josh. Josh Sweat is a big fan. And I want to thank Will Heron for getting that clip and for also not telling Josh Sweat that I'm a Vikings fan.
Another win for the toe.
Hey. Love you, bro. I'm this close. I'm this close to pulling for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I told Will Heron yesterday and today, I said, you get Saquon Barkley saying another win for the toe, and I'll root for the Eagles. EAGLES. In fact, Rumble Friday, I will go out Thursday. I'll get an Eagles t-shirt or a hoodie, and I'll wear Eagles gear if Saquon Barkley says another win for the toe. So, again, thank you, Will Heron, for that one. And we are, again, we're, one or two more Eagles players away from turning me into a fan. McBuster says, I wish someone would make a clip of every time Melanie Mack screams the gay F word. I've kind of changed my opinion on that whole Melanie Mack deal because I didn't know anything about Melanie Mack. I guess she's 40 and she looks great for her age, but Lord knows that's not going to hang on forever. We all get old. But Melanie Mack, I guess, like, on one hand, she's like this super duper Christian, judge not lest ye be judged, but then she also loves to yell the gay F word. Like, I yell the gay F word, but I also don't sit there and go, I'm a Christian and God bless and I'm praying for you. You get to be one or the other. You don't get to say, tee hee hee, silly little. And also, Melanie Mack is someone who will say the gay F word about like a gay person. Like, not like in a joking manner, but just to be a cunt. Just because she thinks it's edgy and the boys will think she's one of the guys. She's very see-through. She's very transparent. Melanie, transparent doesn't mean what you think it does. Like, guys like me and you guys and others, like, the gay F word and the word retard are kind of the same thing for us, where it's like, we'll use the word retard. But if we ever saw anyone talking to a mentally challenged person and using the word retard, you'd be like, what are you fucking doing, you asshole? Like, you want to kick the shit out of that guy. Same thing with the gay F word. There's some gay person and someone's berating them and calling them a gay F. It's like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Take it easy. And I think the biggest sin Melanie Mack creates is that she doesn't mean any of it. She's not authentic in the least. Triple N says, you planned that transparent joke, didn't you, gay F? No, I'm just that good. I'm just that smooth. I make it seem like I prepared it, but really, off the top of this gifted old dome right here. But her problem is she doesn't mean it. It's all a gimmick. She is a child of the internet, and everything she does almost has this this intended meaning behind it of like, is that going to catch on internet? Is that viral internet? Is that something you like internet? Is that, like, instead of being herself, she keeps trying these different gimmicks to see if people will grab onto it. And like, if it works, it works, God bless you. But people like me are just going to point out how phony it is. And while we may be in the minority, I'd rather be that way than let people get away with like that kind of performative dishonesty. But I've honestly, I kind of understand Melanie Mack. And I've lessened, and I'm sorry to Keanu on this one, but I've lessened my criticism of Melanie Mack. And I'll tell you why. I found something out, and I think when you get an input of new information, I think you should change your opinion. I found out that apparently, and this is what I heard, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Melanie Mack's ex-husband, she turned him gay. And like, once you turn a dude gay, like, one, I don't know, like, it could be like the like you got a weird pussy, your body's all fucked up. I don't know what it could be, but for whatever reason, he was with Melanie Mack and it made him crave dick. When you're a woman and that happens to you, you have one of two directions you can go. Severe self-introspection to find out why you turned a guy queeb. Or you can just vehemently and enragingly and dishonestly start hating gay people. And just gay F word this, gay F word that. That's a lot easier than going, I turned my husband, who I thought was going to be my partner in Christ forever, I turned him to a life of deviancy, I made him a homosexual, and I delivered him into the arms of the devil. And I'm sorry, and I will spend the rest of my life repenting for the sins of my whorish ways. Or you can just start saying the gay F word, dressing 15 years younger than you are, and begging for the attention of men on the internet. She made a choice. So I think I was being too hard on Melanie Mack before, and I'd like to apologize. If I made someone turn gay, I know that would be very difficult to deal with. So, Melanie, you have my sympathy. Faggot. So let's continue on. Oh, no. See, like, if you guys, here's the thing. If you think I'm mean, read the Rumble chat. They're way worse than I am. I'm playful. I'm a good time. I'm just here having fun. Those guys are terrible. A lot of ha-has and LOLs in the chat, though. I will say I'm having a hard time pulling myself away from this topic because I seem to be getting a lot of attaboys. You know, like Melanie Mac's husband when he went into a bathhouse while they were married. Oh, because he turned gay from her pussy. It's not okay. We need to practice understanding. We need to practice Christian love. And we need to practice forgiveness. Amen. Hallelujah. Yahweh. Break bread. Off we go. Off we go. All right, guys. Can we do a goddamn show? Enough of this internet bully nonsense. You know, everybody begs on the internet for something. People like Melanie Mac beg for attention. Some people like me are just more honest and beg you for your money. Which, by the way, 160 away from today's goal. Go ahead and throw in a couple of bucks, and let's call it another win for the toe. What do you say? How about a big hundo drop? Let's do that. Let's put 7 minutes on the clock and let's do a big hundo drop. I'm not saying you yourself drop a hundo, but let's just have it, click the PayPal, click the Streamlabs. Let's raise a hundo in the next 7 minutes and get ourselves even closer. Remember, every dime we raise this morning goes to fight steel-toe derangement syndrome, which is very prevalent. We even had one person give us $5 to adamantly deny the existence of steel-toe derangement syndrome while he exhibited symptoms. One of the saddest things I've ever seen. All right, guys, we got to get into some Trump stuff. We made it an hour. Hey, we made it an hour with no Trump stuff. That's pretty good. But as you know, there's going to be a shit. Look, the guy can't stop, won't stop. He knows he's only got 4 years. He's acting like he's only got 4 months. Every day there's something new. Like, hey, it's like every day is Christmas if you're an American. Like a few days ago, we found out we're getting the Panama Canal. Cool. A few weeks ago, we found out we're getting Greenland. That's pretty awesome. Canada's going to become the 51st state. We just keep grabbing land. Now, yesterday, apparently, we're getting Gaza, which, I mean, is the equivalent of Monopoly of getting Mediterranean Avenue, but land is land, right? I just bought some land on the Great Wall of China on the good side. Trump expected to attend the Super Bowl. I like Donald. I think Donald's great, but at the same time, these poor people who run security and run the show at the Super Bowl, they have enough to worry about. They really just do have enough shit on their plate this weekend without the president running in and be like, all right, I've decided 5 days before the event that I'm going to be sitting in the Super Bowl. Could you imagine, you come home late for dinner every night, you're working security, you're one of the people running the security for the Super Bowl. You come home late for dinner to your wife and kids every night. It's really stressful. They're being really understanding about it. You get home from work, you sit down at the table, and they go, Daddy, we're so happy you're home. Your wife kisses you on the forehead, and she goes, hey, honey, how was work? And he just bends his fork in half 90 degrees and goes, God damn it. And she's like, not in front of the kids, honey. He's like, why does he have to show up? We're busy as it is. I don't see my children. And she's like, what is going on? Trump's coming to the Super Bowl. And she knows immediately to just hide all the guns in the house because she knows how stressful the gig is. So you and I hear that Donald Trump's going to the Super Bowl and you're like, oh, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be really cool. This is a guy they've tried to kill him at least twice in the last year. And he's also president. So you got President of the United States security. So now the security people are going to have to work with the Secret Service. But then also it's president who they've tried to shoot him twice since last summer. Guy. It's going to be a bitch for everybody working there. This is going to be the least amount of fun that anybody preparing a Super Bowl has ever had. But he's going to be there. Dude, it's one of the perks of the job. I did not know this, but he's the first sitting U.S. president to attend a Super Bowl. Why? If you're the president of the United States, how is that not the first perk that you take advantage of? Because presidents have been to the Super Bowl before, or the World Series before. They've been there plenty of times. But the Super Bowl? Dude, that would be like 9% of the reason I became president. Free tickets to the Super Bowl. That would be, yeah, there'd be like 15, 20% I'd want to help the country and shit. 30% I want to get rich. 40% free food. And then like 9% Super Bowl trips. Pretty cool. It would be 14% if I ever thought there was a shot of me getting to see a Vikings Super Bowl while in office. There is a significant security presence around the Super Bowl with or without a presidential visit, but a source familiar with the planning described heightened preparations ahead of Trump's attendance. The Super Bowl is designated as an NSSE, a national special security event, requiring a whole-of-government strategy to secure the venue and the region. Great. No, this is good. A few days after he threatens to obliterate Iran and take Gaza, he's now going to come to the Super Bowl. Fun. How do you feel going to the Super Bowl now, knowing that your chances of getting blown up just went up about 30%? I don't know how much of a chance you thought you had of getting blown up before Trump announced he's going to the Super Bowl, but whatever that number was, right back up through the roof. Trucker 18-wheeler with $4.99 says, why would he go when he knows Philly fans are there? I know, there's just going to be like a pig pen from Charlie Brown dirt cloud over the whole thing, but apparently Trump doesn't give a shit. He must be used to, those people at this point. Thank you, Trucker 18-wheeler with the $5. In the next 2 minutes, let's do another 95. What do you say? People do not give a fuck. I thought I was going to run up. I ran that $100 rally idea up the flagpole. 5. And YouTube got 30% of it. Oof. I always wake up on really low goal days, and I don't sit there and go, oh, yeah, we're going to knock this out early. It's going to be easy. I'm like, just get ready for this one to go down to the wire. I don't fool myself anymore. Get ready for those low goal days to go right down to the fucking wire. And this morning I went, yesterday was a great day. Appreciate what yesterday was, because today could break your fucking heart in half. I'm prepared in case it happens. 160 away from today's goal. Throw a couple of bucks in. Let's win. Hey, anybody else starting to get conspiracy theories around eggs? I'm starting to wonder about eggs myself. 100,000 eggs just got stolen in, where was it? Pennsylvania? 100,000 eggs just stolen out of a truck in Pennsylvania. And this is right after, remember, Biden on his way out murdered like 40 billion chickens or something like that, and then egg prices went through the roof. Is there like an economic sabotage thing going on? I got 2 conspiracy theories right now. I got conspiracy theories on the airplanes, and I've got conspiracy theories on the eggs, because you got planes crashing, falling out of the sky, starting on fire all over the place. And then you got chicken murder and eggs disappearing all over the place. Who's running the chicken gang, dude? Oh, Would You says chicken gang at it again. Yeah. Where, are we going to catch the chicken heist bros? What's the deal? People got to eat breakfast, man. I mean, we're like
an Amish lady on a butter churn, and she's got 20 kids and they're out of butter, and it's breakfast time.
100,000 eggs. Like, here's how you know. Here's where I'm thinking conspiracy, where it's just economic sabotage by people who don't like Trump. What the fuck is anyone going to do with 100,000? Nobody steals 100,000 eggs. There's not like black market. You don't go to Harlem and see guys selling eggs out of their trunk. So please tell me, who's stealing 100? Who would steal 35 sack lunches? There's no reason for it. There's no economic imperative to do it. It's just they're fucking with the supply chain. We have people in this country who hate Donald Trump so much that they will sabotage their own nation just so he doesn't have any success. Dive Bar said, who said we were fine with it? $13.50 for 36 eggs at Walmart even. I didn't say anyone was fine with it. I said, what's going on? The killing, the murdering the chickens was overboard. That didn't make sense. And the stealing 100,000 eggs, nobody would do that. Oh, Approachable says it was the omelet mafia. Oh, okay. See, this is why I have you guys. I come to you with my conspiracy theories and I go, guys, I know this sounds nuts, but I think it's this. And then you guys help me out. Like, I thought this was fucking with the supply chain and an inside job, this 100,000 egg theft, because how do you fence 100,000 stolen eggs? I didn't know that the omelet mafia was still in business. I thought they shut down during the Great Egg Wars of 1988. I had no idea they were resurgent. They're like the Foot Clan. I didn't know. Rachel says, eggs went up today at my store. Had to make the new tags. Well, people keep stealing six figures. I didn't know that the omelet mafia was back at it. Dead Game says they're baking the world's largest cake. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, this now the 100,000 eggs are starting to make. See, I came up with conspiracy theories about this being economic warfare and sabotage because I didn't know what someone could need 100,000 eggs for. They're a little late. The Biscontes could have used that for their Skittle wedding cake. They're never there when you need them. They are never there when you need them. 100,000 eggs. Well, it's kind of like oil, right? Like oil's one of those things, like any excuse to raise the price. You know, the minute anything happens, like, oh, a pipeline got shut down in Riyadh. Ooh, I'm sorry. We got to raise the price of gasoline today by 40 cents a gallon. It's like, wait, you haven't even gotten any of that oil yet. It's not even refined and turned into gasoline. Yeah, you know, we're just playing the odds. What if they turn on the pipeline today? What if they get it fixed? We'll drop the price back down. Oh, like the next day? No, over the course of the next 3-4 weeks or so, you see, we're fucking you. See, at least if I say it out loud, that way it hurts less when they actually do it. Approachable says, everyone calm down. Aaron's a little upset about this story because he knows with eggs disappearing, the price of bread and donuts is going up. So if people are still mad about the Skittles cake, Deutsch Chat in the chat says, fuck that damn cake. All right, guys. Look, as you know, this show is here for humor and for people to have fun. I didn't mean to get anyone worked up about the Skittles cake. I didn't want anybody to get mad. I never want anyone to get upset. We're $160 away from the goal because we're fighting steel-toe derangement syndrome. I'm not trying to cause it. So I'm sorry. Deutsch Chat, I want you to take a deep breath, calm down. The Skittles cake has been consumed. It can't hurt you anymore. Dive Bar says that's $37,500 worth of eggs at Walmart 3 weeks ago. You know, I guess it does kind of make sense, though, because like I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, you'll rob stagecoaches, right? And that's carrying supplies. So I guess if we had Red Dead Redemption in the modern times, you'd be stealing egg semis. Look at this. Sam Show writes, that Skittles cake is infuriating. I feel so bad for Kiki. She's such a treasure and deserves better. Guys, it was a joke about the Skittles cake. I didn't mean to make you mad. I didn't mean to upset. I thought everyone was on the road to healing from that Skittles cake the same way I was, and we were at a place where we could joke about it and be friendly. I didn't know. You guys ready for some really shitty jokes? Honky said, the egg mafia are laundering the eggs via shell companies. You see, shell companies. You know what? I'm going to let you have that one. Hey, you see what I did? Because it's an egg. I'm just joking. I'm sorry. You know what? Hey, look in the whites of my eyes. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh. What do you think? Move on? Turd Burglar says, female cop, gun drawn. I don't think we should make fun of Mersh. I really don't. Dude got his car repossessed. That's bleak. That's bad. I don't know. There's a moral to the Mersh story, and it's there but for the grace of God go I. Whenever you have something really bad in your life happen, just go. What you say to yourself is, I wonder what Mersh is doing right now. And you go, not driving a car. And then you feel better. So don't make fun. Don't tease. Just use as a barometer. That's it. The Mershometer. Let's go to Honky. That is not a very nice joke. Did I laugh? Yes, I laughed. It's very funny. But it's very mean-spirited. Whip it. I get it. Gray Duckling with
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
I did not mean to hit that. Gray Duckling with $5 says that joke was over. Easy. Oh. Gray Duckling just popped up over Adam for second place. Yeah, second place on the Chad Buzamok leaderboard. It also puts us 155 away from this morning's goal. Nothing on the... Oh, no, we did have Paul on the PayPal. PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo, Super Chats. Let's get in there. You know me. I like getting the goal done early, and it was a very light goal today. $155. If you guys feel generous, click that link. I'm not against getting this thing done by 8 o'clock. You guys want to check in on the military? Remember how, like, Trump's been saying we need to get our military stronger, and we're too lenient in the military, and he wants to get the pronouns out and wants to get trans people out and everything else. I think we should check in on our American fighting force and just see how they're doing. Because I'm sorry, guys. I know a regular is calling in right now, but I'm not hooked up to the board. I apologize. And then they hung up. They're like, oh, well, fuck this guy. Let's check in on the American military and see how much work we have to do, because there's a chance that our fighting force is ready to go, and just Trump merely getting elected means that, we're in fighting shape again. Let's check in with just a regular grunt and see how things are going in the American military.
Hey, so I just went in the military building. These bitches just told me to go in this building, and they were like, okay, get your dental stuff done, and the thing opens at 8, and so I showed up like half an hour early, and this scary ass drill sergeant looking guy, he came up to me and he was like, go get a fucking haircut. Don't come back in this fucking building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay.
It was really funny, though, because this guy thought he said blowjob, so then they found him in the bathroom, and he was sucking a guy's... It was really weird, hilarious misunderstanding. It's all going to be in the comic section of your next newspaper.
Yes, sir. He grabbed this part of my uniform and was like, when you're in this uniform, you need to abide by the standards in AR 670-1. I was like, yes, sir. He was like, go get a haircut right now and don't come back in this building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay. So I am on my way to get a haircut because that was scary as fuck.
That was scary as fuck. You got that? This guy, gal, this one here is in the military. I don't know if anybody told him before they joined, but might have to fight in a war. We do that from time to time. We have wars. This country does. And there might be gunfire. And, man, in some instances, maybe like an IED or hand-to-hand combat or something like that. But don't worry, the big scary drill sergeant patting them on the chest, that's scary as shit, you guys. Boy, I hope they don't have anything more scary than that happen to them while they're in the military. Well, let's see how this terrible haircut story... I hope that this new haircut story ends with him bringing in protein shakes and going, Ma, where's the protein? That's what I want for his new haircut. That and Jaeger bombs.
Because that was scary as fuck. So if I look like a fucking army rat when I get guys.
How did you get gayer? How did you get gayer? How did you get a haircut with that floppy mop top and somehow get gayer? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Elliot Page. That's...
I look like I'm about to go to fucking war.
Oh, no. Have you ever heard the term billboard material or bulletin board material? It's where an opposing team will put up something retarded that one of the other players from the other team said, and they use it as motivation for their upcoming game. This is what China would call bulletin board material. Guys, I look like I'm about to fucking go to war. Like, what is this, the army or something? Oh, God. Can I be the first one to go on record as to say Donald Trump has not gone far enough? Like, that's, come on.
I'm about to go to fucking war.
Oh.
Yeah. And yeah. And that's all. I ate.
Can we just... I know this show is all about controversial takes and everything like that. I'd just like to go on record as saying that God bless Bill Clinton for enacting Don't Ask, Don't Tell. God damn Barack Obama for getting rid of it. And why don't we just bring it back? It's fine. I'm starting to think that maybe closets existed for a reason. And that by chance, maybe this person should take a few steps back into it. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that so everyone else can be comfortable. That's all. By the way, someone said our audio was cutting out on YouTube. That's not on me, man. Everything's good here. All our meters, all our stuff, nothing's cutting out here. It's not cutting out on Rumble. So whatever's going on, I hope YouTube straightens it out soon. And I hope they can enjoy the Steel Toe Show. And I hope you guys can help me fight steel toe derangement syndrome. We're $155 away from today's goal. Now, is that a great place to be right now? Absolutely. But I know better than to rest on our laurels. I started doing that when we would get ahead, and we end up sometimes, believe it or not, with these $175 goal days missing on days like that. Dive Bar says, who cares? YouTube people suck anyway. Well, prove to me that Rumble can knock out the goal, and we won't have to worry about it. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. Let's get generous. Really, we're at the point where a few $20 drops is going to bang this thing out. Call it another win for the toe, and then go a long way in combating the disgusting scourge of steel toe derangement syndrome. All right, let's continue on. Thank you, Coyote NV, for the $1.99. We do appreciate it. Hopefully, YouTube brings it all back together. Brings it all back together, and people can hear. I see it went down by about 50, 60 people. So something definitely must have happened with the audio. I think you got a lot of people hitting the old refresh button. We were at 800 before. We were climbing real nice. We're taking a little bit of a step back. Well, it'll be temporary here. Throw in a couple of bucks. Let's go. Knock out that 155. Call it a win for the toe. This was, it's almost like every time I go on Twitter now, I just get music to my ears. It's like the greatest refresh in human history. I go to the For You section on Twitter, and it's just, hey, here's some breaking news 15 minutes away from the other breaking news that made you smile real big. There were a bunch of little breaking news items yesterday that made me go, oh, fuck yeah. And a lot of them I'm finding out is just shit's happening. Like, I'm just excited that shit's happening. Because for the last 4 years, it's just been like an old man falling off his bike. Or an old man falling up the stairs. Like, when's the last time you heard about legislation or an executive order where you were like, holy shit, this could actually do something. Like every piece of legislation we ever heard about in the Biden administration was just like, hey, here's this panicky last minute multi-trillion-dollar funding bill. We have no idea what the fuck is in it, but if we don't pass it right this minute, then there will be a government shutdown. That's literally all Biden did was panic fund the government month to month. So now we got a guy in there, and like we can't keep up with this dude because there's just new shit coming out every 3 hours, maybe sooner. Yesterday, did you hear the news about the CIA? This is an immediate akya for me. I hope that the whole agency takes them up on this. Let's check it out.
Fox News alert. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the CIA has reportedly just offered a buyout to its entire workforce.
Yes. Am I being punked? Is it Christmas? So everyone who works for the CIA can take like their whole contract up front for a percentage, I'm sure, and just walk away and we get a brand new CIA or Christmas in July, or the CIA is completely done away with. I mean, think about it. If there's no, people always say they're like, oh, if there's no CIA, what is America going to do? I don't know. Not have President Kennedy murdered, not have 9/11, not have most of the wars we've been in, not have regime change overseas. I mean, all those things that have been so incredibly good to this country. I think we'd get along just fine without the CIA. So the fact that they're offering buyouts to the entire workforce, yes, King. Like, just keep doing shit like this. People are like, Trump is doing so many over-the-top things. Bro, I voted for over-the-top things. I think this whole country is fucked. I think it's over. I think the empire is in decline. Let's take the wheel and steer it over into the other side of the ditch and see if that one's more fun. We're ditch running now. That's the phase America's in. We're ditch sprinting. Let's try a different ditch. This one's a bummer. I think this one we're heading towards could be a little more fun. It's the one that, like the culvert kind of drains into as you have lots of standing water. You can kind of like water ski in it or wakeboard in it. That's a fun ditch. The country's still full of retarded people who have no way to pull this bus out of the mud. But we can pick the mud patch that's the most fun to play in.
Everyone in the agencies telling employees late today they can quit their jobs and receive about 8 months of pay and benefits.
Shit.
It's a part of Trump's push to downsize the federal government. More.
Yes. 1,000%. Take it. I don't want these people to think they're being punked. I don't want the CIA hesitating and going, I don't know. This could be some kind of gimmick to make me. No. Totally legit. 8 months pay. Take it. Sit at home. Have a great summer. Long vacation. You've got CIA experience, dude. You're going to find great private sector employment. I promise you. Trucker 18-wheeler with 199 says Aaron has steel-toed derangement syndrome and Aaron Imholt derangement. Oh, wait, no. I think Trucker 18-wheeler is saying Aaron has STDs and AIDS. See, if you'd use an apostrophe, I'd know which one you were saying. Toad climbs mountains with $10. Says Rumble is better. He goes on first and helps clean the hair. Dive Bar with $20. Says fuck the YouTubers. Chicken lives matter. Wow, isn't that something? What's 8 and 16? 24? Let's call it, plus the 199. Let's call it 25. Hey, we're only 130 away from fully funding research for steel-toe derangement syndrome today. How fun. Keep it going. Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Thanks, Toad. Thanks, Dive Bar. Thanks, Trucker. 130. Go ahead, guys. Do the whole thing. Do the whole thing. This is something we've... Excuse me. Ugh. Still getting rid of the last of it. I'm going to suck in the ring today, by the way. I'm going back to sparring. I've been sick for the last week. I'm starting to think I'm still not 100%. I'm still coughing shit up. I'm going to get my fucking ass kicked today. There's no doubt about it. Donald Trump, we talked about this earlier, has left instructions if Iran assassinates him. Now, if I were Donald Trump, I wouldn't be looking over at Tehran. I wouldn't be looking over at Tehran and going, these are the people that are going to kill me. You know that buyout you just offered to the CIA? Let's just say the more people that take that buyout, the safer you are, sir. Same thing with the FBI. The lower and slower the FBI runs, the safer you are. Just thank God that our intelligence community is so retarded and inept because, I mean, they've had a couple opportunities to kill this dude, and they failed each time because, well, it's a bureaucracy. But Donald Trump has apparently crafted some, like fantasy war porn document in case Iran assassinates him. I don't know where this came from other than like Trump was like, all right, I'm bored. I want to write up some kind of letter that would tell you guys how to fucking decimate Iran. That'll be fun. Let's just say that it's in case they kill me or something. I just want to get this in writing. This is him yesterday. This is his daily signing executive orders press conference that he has. And I'm really starting to like these. And not just because of the ASMR effect of the marker.
It's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani.
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That'd be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did. I don't know why, lack of intelligence, perhaps. But he never said it. If that happens to a leader or close to a leader, frankly, if you had other people involved also, you would call for total obliteration of a state that did it. That would include Iran.
So I know that's really hard to translate, but I believe what Donald Trump is trying to say is, can we get a translator in here? Because I don't really understand. So is Iran in trouble if they assassinate Donald Trump? Because I'm not. Hold on one second. I've got some kind of a translator here. Let me see if we can get our translator up and going. Here it is. This is apparently what Trump said to Iran.
Okay, Flaming Dragon, fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia, Jack, is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up! Did you find out who that was? Yeah. Go.
So that's what he meant. Okay. So he's saying to Iran that killing him would be a bad thing. Could we get away with nuking a country if they kill our leader? I mean, like, could you get away with nuking them and nobody retaliating? Like, would it be one of those things where, like, even Russia and China would be like, well, I mean, guys, I mean, like Iran calls China and they're like, there's a nuke heading our way. Are you going to help us? And like, bro, you fucking killed their president. Like, I can't do, like, they get to nuke you. Like, we're all going to watch. And, you know, when the radioactive material clears and everything like that, we're going to go ahead and try to help you rebuild your country. But what the fuck were you guys thinking? Like, we thought that there would be like, you know, like we thought we were helping you guys. You're not fucking helping us. This is not going to be good. You made The only thing that's going to be more dangerous than live Trump is martyr Trump. Yeah, sorry, we got to let those nukes hit you guys. Hello? 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 Well, I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. I wonder. It does make you wonder if somebody's leader got killed. All right, let's do it this way. Let's say it happened to somebody else. Would we sit by while they just massacre that country? Like, here, let's say we have proof Zelensky orders the assassination of Vladimir Putin. Do we divorce ourselves from Ukraine and go, yo, bro, that was too far? And the Russians come to us and like, we're rolling tanks up to Kiev. We're done fucking around. We're going to mow down everybody in our path. No more of this restrained warfare bullshit. We'd be like, they did murder your leader. That's going to be a tough one. Also, like, people forget about this. Putin is not unpopular in Russia. Like, they see him as their hero who's fighting back against these Western interlopers. Like, these people who are threatening their borders. And, NATO's trying to bully them. And they have this strongman Putin. Remember, Russia respects a strongman. And this strongman Putin is going to defend Russia's borders and fight back the people who are trying to, one-up them. So they like him down there, boy. But Trump says that if Iran assassinates him, he has left very specific instructions to decimate and destroy Iran. I mean, glass will get cheap. That'll be nice. Let's go to the next one. Donald Trump talking about the Department of Education. Guys, this is the one I've been waiting for. Everybody has their favorite Trump thing. For a lot of people, it's the border. For other people, it's the deep state. It's the, what do they call that? The swamp. For me, cutting the Department of... There's two things that I'm most excited for with a Trump presidency. Getting rid of the Department of Education and maybe getting rid of the IRS. We've got news on that today, too. This one is the Department of Education. Pervert Vince McMahon's wife has been tapped to be the... not by Vince. Has been tapped to be the Secretary of Education. And Donald Trump announced yesterday that he's instructed Linda McMahon to basically run herself out of a job.
And on the education department, why nominate Linda McMahon to be the education department secretary if you're going to get rid of the education department?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right?
That is pretty great. Like, you're going, all right, Linda, you're going to be in charge of... It's like being made the CEO of a company that's about to be bought out by another company. It's like, all right, you're the CEO. You're going to get the compensation during this time, but we need you to be the person to kind of quarterback this merger. And then at the end, you're just going to step away. It's kind of it's a bizarre role to be in. Like, hey, I'm getting rid of the Department of Education. Oh, cool. What's my job in the administration going to be? Secretary of Education. Wait, but you're getting rid of it. Yeah, I want you to be the person who like just self-deletes your own cabinet position. Great. If she can pull that off, that would be great. Maybe that means we could get Congress to do it and we can get them to pass term limits finally. Because I'm the one who's always said you'll never get Congress to vote itself out of a job. Who knows? Maybe if Linda McMahon can administrate herself out of a gig, maybe the House and Senate will go along with, kicking some of these old fuckers out of there. Watching those confirmation hearings, we've just got to forcefully remove some of these people. It's embarrassing to listen to their wheezing and barely able to get form sentences and just grandstanding up there. Like, Chuck Schumer is an embarrassment. Like, it's time to go. Nancy Pelosi, same thing. Chuck Grassley, Lindsey Graham, Dick Durbin, like all of these people who just look like bags of skin melting in the sun like a bad butter sculpture. It's just time to put a bill out there to vote these fuckers out and just, you can all vote no, that's great, but all the people under 70 should vote yes. And then we can set the retirement age in the House and Senate for 65 years old. You can't hold office after that. you got to be done.
We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is...
That's because the teachers union, decades ago, this is when I was a kid in school, the teachers union guilted the government. And they said, well, you know, the problem with America is we don't invest enough money in education. Just give the teachers union a shitload of money and we'll make sure that education in America improves. Well, what they did was they gave themselves better benefits packages. They gave themselves better pay. They gave themselves better working conditions. They threw a couple of bucks here and there at books, and then they just sat back, enjoyed the spoils of this increased government funding, and then watched as kids just kept not being able to read. And every time these teachers were fucking up and not teaching these kids anything, the government would pass new laws that would say basically, just pass the kids along anyway. You know, we don't want them to feel left behind. Yeah, but shouldn't you be left behind if you say, I don't know, can't read what grade you're in? We got to leave that kid behind for a little bit. Being 10 years old and in first grade should be a pretty powerful motivator, you would think.
Is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice, but in addition to that, I want the states to run schools, and I want Linda to put herself out of a job.
So do you think that's something you can do with an executive order, or are you going to ask Congress to do it?
I would like to be able to. Look, if I could give the schools back to Iowa and Idaho and Indiana and all these places. That-
by the way, this is another controversial sticking point of this. As you just heard there, Trump only wants to give power of education back to the I states. I don't know why. This is very interesting. It's something I'd like him to elaborate on further. But Indiana, Idaho, and Illinois are his 3 big ones. And I'd like to know if there's a reason behind that. Because as an M state, I have some questions.
Run properly. There's many of them. I think. So if you look at the list, Denmark, Sweden.
It's not a state.
Norway. Believe it or not, China's doing very well on that list. A list of...
Believe it or not, all China does is like lock their kids in dungeons, and they either make iPhones or do trigonometry problems so they can make iPhones later. That's... Believe it or not, China's really good at education. I know there's a stereotype that they only play basketball and say axe, but they're actually really good at school. Wow, really? Chinese? Good at school? I didn't... Boy... Talk about your surprises out of nowhere. That one hit me like an RKO, Mr. President. Apparently all these little fuckers do is add and subtract all fucking day long. They just multiply and divide themselves senseless. It's crazy. You ever seen a Chinese kid multiply fractions? They do it like we're supposed to know how. I don't know how to do it. Do you go across? Do you go diagonal? I don't know how it works.
Well,
but these little Chinese fuckers, holy balls, do they long divide like nobody's business?
Well educated, where they run their school system well. You know,
they have a great system. I want to adopt it. Apparently, if a kid says, I don't know to an answer, they shoot him. Right in the head, too. Don't even wing him. They don't take a leg off him. They just blow his fucking Chinese head off. Actually, by the way, I watched a documentary. I don't think I'm far off on the Chinese education system.
A lot of countries, not surprising names. I think that if you moved our schools into some of these states that are really well-run states, they would be as good as Denmark and Norway and Sweden and some of the other states. And then you'd have the laggards, and you know who they are. I don't have to go to it. But
Denmark, Sweden, Norway, China. All of them great education systems. All of them culturally pretty homogenous. Coincidence? I don't know. I'm not saying I don't have enough education. I don't have enough data. I don't have enough facts to know whether or not that's one of the reasons that their education is so good. I just know that those 4 countries tend to have that in common. They also have some of the top education in the world.
You'd have the laggards, the same laggards that are laggards with everything else, including crime. But even them, you'll break it into systems. As an example, if you went to New York, you go to Westchester County, you go to Dutchess County, you go to Suffolk and Long Island and Nassau and Long Island. You have maybe 6 or 7 locations. And you have New York City, which would include the 5 boroughs. And I think even that would run much better than it does right now.
Yes, well, of course, the more local control you have, the more you know exactly what the kids in those schools need. Ideally, every school would be run differently, because the idea that kids in Louisiana have the same educational needs and development as kids in, say, Connecticut is just not the case. So you can't have the federal government making policy. Also, talk to any superintendent out there. They will tell you that the reason you keep getting your shit pushed in on these referendums at the polls is because the federal government will force the states and force school districts to do certain things and give them no money to implement it. So the federal government says you have to have this many teachers to this many students, or you have to have this many administrators to this many teachers. And the schools are like, well, hiring to get us up to that point is going to cost us $250,000 a year. How much money are you giving us to pay for this? And the federal government goes, nothing, just do it. And now all of a sudden the school's got to come up with $250,000 a year. Now you're voting on a referendum.
Same thing with Los Angeles or California. You'd have Riverside. You'd break it up into 6 or 7, but most of them would be states, and you'd have one. Like in Iowa, you give it to the state of Iowa. You give it to the state of Indiana. You give it. These are really.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. I think he's going to fuck everybody but the I states.
Well-run states. They don't have debt. They don't have problems. They don't have any crimes, relatively speaking, to speak of. And you would have education that would be the equivalent of Norway and Denmark and various other places that are at the top of the list. So we're at the bottom of the list, and we're the most expensive. We're at the top of the list when it comes to cost per pupil. We spend more money per pupil than any other nation in the world. And
yeah, like all of our students in this country have iPads. And like none of them can read or add, but they all can watch YouTube shorts. So to say that we're killing it, it's definitely an understatement. Chevy fan says, how do you educate a diverse population with different cultural values? What I would say is you give local control to those areas who know what the educational needs of that area are. You certainly don't give it to the federal government and give them unlimited money. By the way, you knock out the Department of Education, you also knock out $250 billion in spending every year. Shit, right? That would go a long way to balance that old budget. That would be a nice mantle or a nice head on the mantle for Doge if they could get rid of the Department of Education. Holy shit. I hope it happens. Like I said, that's my number one for this administration. When he said that, I never thought I'd live to see a president get rid of really any federal department, let alone the Department of Education. What's the last department we got rid of? What was the trucking one? I think that was a whole department, or it might have been an agency. There was an agency that truckers fucking hated. And we did end up getting rid of it. It was an example of something being so bad that the government actually got rid of it. I know we've got truckers that listen to this show. What was that called? Not the FTC. That's the Federal Trade Commission. There was something that really fucked up trucking. It made it way more expensive, and we had to get rid of it. Like back in the 80s or the 90s. We got rid of it. Somebody's going to know. Milton Friedman used to talk about it a lot. It was damn it. I think it's even in a Sawyer Brown song. Oh, people don't know what I'm talking about. See, this is the weird thing. Usually when I say, hey, what was that thing that the government got rid of and ended a while back? People are like, boom, this. When they don't know, I start to go, oh shit, I'm retarded. I'm talking a bunch of nonsense. I don't know this one. No, Diesel Cat, not ice. No, eating clams, not Jews. Das Optic Nerve, no, it was not the kill a hooker at a rest stop agency. First of all, how would you even abbreviate that? Don't answer. ICC, Diesel Cat, I think that was it. ICC. When was the ICC disbanded. The Interstate Commerce Commission was abolished on December 29th, 1995. The ICC Termination Act was signed into law by President Bill Clinton. It was formed in 1887. It had authority over rates and routes. Was reduced in the 1980s by the Staggers Rail Act and Motor Carriers Act. The ICC's administrative effectiveness and regulatory mission were questioned over the decades. The ICC's remaining functions were transferred to the Surface Transportation Board. The STB is a new agency in the Department of Transportation. So, I mean, truckers hated it. Rail workers hated it. It was just bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy, and it sucked. Everybody hated it. Hold on one moment. Like I said, man, I thought I was ready to return to the ring today. I'm still going to, but I feel like my health has taken a step back. I thought I was totally good yesterday. I feel like it's kind of taken a step back. And God damn it, it's one of those things where, like, the people who were talking about this illness that's going around, this influenza that's going around, they're like, no, you start to feel really good, and then you take a step back. And now today, I've got a little bit of a headache. I got some aches, still coughing shit up. I hate it when they're right. Doom Clone is in the chat. Now, yesterday, we had some news. This Lance News Network. He's a good guy. I like this Lance. He's the one, he, Turbs McGurk, Stevie Lou, and a couple of others were very adamant on Twitter a few days ago that steel-toe, they had confirmed, they're like, steel-toe derangement syndrome is a disease. It is real. The people who suffer from it are in really, really deep, and they're having serious troubles. And so we decided to start giving our goal to the research of steel-toe derangement syndrome, only to find out one of our scientists, Dr. Taste Fairy Ialto, said that steel-toe derangement syndrome can actually lead to Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome. So, I mean, look, guys, I'm not saying it's not going to get worse before it gets better, but we're working on a cure. So far, the only cure we found is a holistic cure, and it's just admitting that you get up early in the morning to turn on my show because I'm that interesting and you love it. You're just a steel-toe fan, unironically. That's been the only way that people find happiness. They've reported going outside, having friends. By the way, the people on the computer screen are not your friends. They've reported, all these things getting better. It's a holistic cure. We're hoping to have something in pharmaceutical form very, very soon. But Lance and others on the internet have confirmed, and some of them don't even like steel-toe, but they're like, yeah, steel-toe derangement syndrome. It's bad news. Doomclone says, I'm here to stage my attacks on your program today, Aaron. The Lance News Network report was not satirical in the slightest, and every word is gospel.